Welcome to Live DAF, your online DAF Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem, welcome back. Today's DAF is GITTEN DAF Nun. We are on the last line of Mem Tesam at Beis. Itmar Arev Diksuba. Divrei HaKoil Lo Mishtabed. If one offers himself as an Arev to serve as a guarantor for a ksuba payment between the husband and wife, since he's only serving as an arev, which denotes a lower level commitment, as opposed to a kablon coming up in a minute, where he's a more active player, more involved in the actual procedure, here's just like a bystander, offering his assurance. Look, it's going to work. I'm backing up the ksuba. So since ksuba isn't something that anybody's really losing money on, the isha who's going to have the ksuba claim eventually didn't really spend money on it, as opposed to a creditor, a Baal Chayv, who's actually lending money on the deal. So since he's just an Arev, and since it's just for Iksuba, Divrei HaKoil Lo Mishtabed, there's no question that he's not really committed to it. And, he's just trying to spur the marriage on, to encourage them to proceed, and therefore it's not a real financial commitment. What about Kablon, the Baal Chayv? Here we have two factors in the positive. He's a kablon, not just an arev. He's actually getting involved. Look, you, Malva, give him the money on my account. I'm going to be I'll back up the loan. And also, it's a Baal Chayv who's actually laying out money on this deal. Divrei HaKoil Mishtabed, all agree that, of course, he's committed to the deal to back up that loan. What about if there's only one factor present? He's just an arev, but the Baal Chayv, who actually laid out money, or he's the kablon, or he's a kablon. So he's actually involved. Rashi says he was physically involved. He took the metaltalin that the husband gave his wife as collateral, and he took it and he gave it back to the husband. And in exchange, he committed himself. So he's an actual player, but it's only a ksuba, the kablon, the ksuba, where again nobody is investing any money, and it's a mitzvah to get them married. Then we have an interesting machlek, is pliki. Is he really responsible in any of these two cases or not? An arev of a Baal Chayv or a kablon the ksuba. Pliki ikal mandomer avagav the lesle nichsi the leiva mishtabed. Some hold that even if the leiva, the one borrowing the money, or in the case of the ksuba, the husband, has no assets at the time to fall back on, mishtabed, still, the arev or the kablon, in the case of the ksuba, he's going to commit himself. He's actually committing himself. Some say no, depends. If the leiva has actual assets right now, which pretty much gives the arev the assurance that he'll have the ability to pay back, then mishtabed. And in fact, the arev is committed to play back up. But if the leiva at that time has no assets to back up his loan, so the arev is not necessarily too confident that in fact the leiva will have the ability to pay back. He's not really trying to commit himself. He's not really chayev to guarantee this commitment. The Gemara concludes, halacha l'maaseh is bekula in all these cases, afagav the lesli mishtabed. In fact, even if the leiva has no assets at the time, but if he's an arev, he's a kablon, he's meshubad to act as guarantor, except for one thing. Except mi arev, the ksuba. He's just serving as an arev. Again, that's a lower level commitment, and we're speaking about a marriage where nobody's investing. The afagav the islay la mishtabed. In this case, even though the husband has plenty of assets to back up the ksuba payment, still the arev is totally not involved, totally not mishtabed. You know why? My time, mitzvah avad. He knows it's a mitzvah to get them married. He's just trying to give them the assurance to go forward. V'lo be the chasra. Number two, she's not losing anything. She didn't invest any money. She didn't lend him any money. So we assume he's just trying to move things forward, but not really seriously committing himself. Okay, so that's that. Amar Ravina Tashma. Ravina is going back to yesterday's sugya, where Mar Zutra told us a great chiddush. When the Mishnah tells us that an Isha will claim her ksuba payment and only collect from, when she collects her ksuba, it's only from ziburis, from the worst quality fields, according to Rabbi Yehuda, according to Rabbi Meir, Beinanis. You should know that's only if she's coming to collect it from the Yisomim upon her husband's passing. But if she's collecting directly from the husband himself, who divorced her, in this case everybody agrees, she gets Beinanis. That was Mar Zutra's chiddush. Amar Ravina Tashma, I'll bring you a raya kasha on this chiddush. Let's go back to the source, to the reason, the basis of the takana, which explains what exactly the Isha collects from. This was discussed yesterday in the Brisa. What does the Brisa say? Why does she collect from Beinanis? Why does she collect from Ziburis? Right? She collects from Ziburis because you should know more than a man wants to marry, a woman wants to get married. And therefore we don't have to give her more than Ziburis. That's the reason for Ziburis, as per the Brisa. Now, if this halacha applies strictly to where she's collecting from Yisomim, why give me this reason? We have a more simple reason why she collects from the worst grade property. It's because she collected from Yisomim, who are only going to be chayiv, in any case, ziburis. Apparently, when the Brisa gives us this reason, it's because we're speaking about collecting from the husband himself. And that explains why she gets ziburis, even though she's only collecting from the husband, not from the kids. Tiyufta to Marzutra to Yufta. In fact, this is a refutation of Marzutra. It's pretty clearly indicative. This Brisa clearly is showing that we're speaking about a collection from the husband himself, and still, she only gets ziburis. Amar Marzutra b'eder of Nachman mishmeder of Nachman. Once again, another halacha from the same Amar. So we speak about a fellow collecting from Yisomim. Well, he can only collect ziburis. Let's say there's shtar choy being produced against the Yisomim. Their father borrowed money, passed away, and now he's collecting from the kids. Even though the father clearly stipulated in that loan document that he's going to be paying the best of all his properties. He upgraded his commitment. Typically, Baal Chayv pays Beinanis. No, I'm giving Idis, the best. But once it gets to collecting from the kids, Einoi Goive Element Ziburis, you can only collect from grade C, worst properties. That's the halacha. Collecting from Yisomim is Ziburis, irrespective of what was stated in the shtar. Amar Abaye. Taida, I'll prove to you, in fact, that this is true. The Baal Chayv dina bebenis. Typically, a Baal Chayv gets medium. May ask me Ziburis, but if he collects from orphans, he gets worst. So you see that by Yisomim, we downgrade his entitlement. Homily Rava, responds Rava, how could you compare? How do you compare the two things? A regular, ordinary Baal Chayv, a regular Baal Chayv is really entitled to the worst quality property, as Ula tells us. The Baal Chayv collects the worst. Pasuk says, the loiva who you're after is going to bring out to you his kalim. What do you think he's going to bring to you? Typically, a person will bring out the worst of his worst. He's going to give you lowest quality items. Apparently, that's what the Baal Chayv is entitled to collect. Minat Torah, Baal Chayv collects from Ziburis. Umatam Amru Baal Chayv bebeinanis. So why did we say yesterday that Baal Chayv collects beinanis? It's takanas chachamim. Kidei shloi tin oil deles b'fnei loivin. We don't want a bank to slam its door in front of a borrower. What do you mean? Give me Ziburis. Have a nice day. So we upgraded it. Minat Torah, it's really Ziburis. With the Rabbanan, he gets more. Okay, v'gabe yasmi. But when it comes to collecting from Yisomim, Okmo Rabbanon Dairaisa. Rabbanon reverted back to Dairaisa. You go back to basics to get ziburis. So that's standard procedure. But over here in our case, where he clearly stipulated in his shtar chayiv, I'm going to give you the best. I'm going to give you the idis. Havalacha given the dinim Dairaisa idis minat Torah. If he obligates himself, if he commits himself to give idis, he has to do so. Rashi explains, because he was mishabed himself. This karka is now mishubed to you, and the concept of shibud is based on arevus, on arev, which is minat Torah. Rashi says, the pasuk says, Anochi Eravenu, Yehuda committed himself to Yaakov Avinu as an arev to bring back Binyamin. The concept of arev is minat Torah. Therefore, says Rava, how can you compare the typical case to this exceptional case where he clearly committed himself to give idis? Afilu miyasmi nami idis. So therefore, even if the father passes away, the children have to follow through. It's minat Torah. Sabaye seemed to learn that even a chiv minat Torah goes down to ziburis. When it comes to Yisrael, maybe hefker bezin hefker, whatever, it doesn't matter. But Rava says that's good for. Taisus explains, he holds that shibud is not midaraisa, whatever. But Rava disagrees. He says, look, you're meshabed yourself clearly to give idus, so even if he passes away, the Yisraelim have to follow through and give idus. Asks the Gemara, Rava. Now, according to Rava's opinion, that if it's a chiv minat Torah, you can't downgrade even by Yisraelim. Vatani Avram Chazov presented a brayse, Eina from nichse Yisraelim, eliminated ziburas. When one collects from Yisraelim, it's only the worst grade. Even if you're collecting damages. End of quote. Now, damages, what happens there? When it comes to collecting damages, you get the best. And still the Brisa clearly says, by Yisraelim, we downgrade you to ziburas. That's a kasha on Rava who says that we can't downgrade, we can't change, we can't tinker with shibudim minat Torah. Answers the Gemara like this. Hacha b'mayaskin, on this brisa here is speaking, kigoyin shehoisa idis de nizak, kiziburas de mazik. We're speaking that the idis, the best quality land of the victim of this damage, the nizak, the A quality of the nizak matched kiziburas de mazik, the B quality of the mazik. And we learned yesterday, Rabbi Shmuel, according to Rabbi Shmuel, who's the author of this brisa, the Amar Midaraisa but Nizak Sheminim, not Torah. The obligation is based on the grades of property, the qualities in the hands of the Nizak. So basically, the Mazik can get away by giving his own quality B, which matches quality A of the Nizak. That's Minat Torah. Right? But the Chachamim upgraded the obligation because of Tikkun Olam to discourage irresponsible behavior. Tikkun Rabbanim with the Mazik. They say no, the Mazik has to give his best. So this next step, this upgrade is the Rabbanon. That we do away by Yisraelim. Only that. The Rabbanon factor. When it comes to collecting from Yisraelim, even Nizaken. But we're speaking about the rabbinic upgrade here. Okmo Rabbanon Dairaisa. Rabbanon reverted back to Dairaisa. And we don't add this next upgrade. That's all the Brisa meant. But of course, if it's clearly Minat Torah, you don't suspend that by Yisraelim. Really? Eini, is that so? Vatani Rabbi Lezer Nivsa, he taught us the Brisa as follows. Ein nefroim nichse Yisraelim eleven aziburis. When one collects from Yisraelim, it's only ziburis. Va'afilu hein idis, even though he committed himself to idis. What does that mean? Ma'afilu hein idis. What does he mean by saying that? Lav afalgav, perhaps he means afalgav dechsiv idis b'shtar, even though in the shtar he wrote, I'm lending you this money on condition I could collect from idis. So here Minat Torah is entitled to idis, and still, when he passes away, Yisraelim only offer him ziburis. That's a stira to Rava's shita. No, says the Gemara, loy, my idis, shafai idis. When the Brisa says, afilu ein idis, it means like this. Sure, his commitment was to give the best. Actually, the best of the best. He had A, B, and C quality. He even had double A. A plus. Idis should be idis, Rashi says. And you know what happened? Shafoi, it moved away. Shafoi, it got destroyed. It got permanently damaged. It's not here any longer. So the object of his shibud, so to speak, the chefza of his shibud is no longer in existence. So now his shibud is gone. His lien is gone. So he goes back down to what he would have gotten otherwise. Because the Rava, as Rava tells us elsewhere, Dama Rava, his exhiburas, in a typical case of a mazik, let's say a person damages his friend's inferior quality land. Doesn't matter what he damaged. If it's $100 of damage, he has to pay his best land. Goyvim in idis. Right? The victim is entitled to collect $100 worth of the mazik's best property, most fertile land, right? What if shafoy idis? What if that land now disappears? Is no longer available. Is damaged. Goyvim in abeninis. So although a nizik takes idis, but not now. You should have taken this. It's your mazel that it got ruined. And therefore, he can't get A quality, right? He lost his double A quality land. So, he'd like to get the next level. He wants to get quality A. No. He lost the schus of idis. Because that was your idis. You should have taken that one. It's gone. Okay, it's your luck. So Gavi ben Abenis, he goes down to the next level. He gets medium quality land. So that's a halacha that Rava teaches us elsewhere. And the same concept will apply to our brisa. What was the brisa again? The father borrowed money. He committed himself to pay back idis. Okay? He passed away. The idis somehow is no longer accessible. It was permanently damaged, got flooded. Same idea. That's it. The chefts of your shiba, the object of your loan of your lien is gone. V'gabi yasmi akmor rabbanon deraisa. So in contrast to the previous case where at least we let him take, baininus, here we go straight to deraisa, which is that, when you a Baal Chayiv is goyver from ziburis minatoir, as we said before. So since they're Yisayimim, we don't give the Baal Chayiv any extra entitlements. We just go down to basics, fundamentals. We give him the din deraisa, which is ziburis. So again, theoretically, says Rava, if there would be a shiba deraisa applicable, of course he would get what he's entitled to. If he was mashabed himself to give idis, that's what he would get even from Yisayimim. The whole din that Yisayimim only pays ziburis, that's pertaining to Rabbanan entitlements. The various upgrades that Rabbanan apply to various halachas. But when it comes to your deraisa entitlement, we don't take away from that. We don't downgrade that. Although in this case we see that despite the fact that he committed to idis, the Yisayimim only pays ziburis, that's explained the way we did, that what happened was that the idis that he committed to got ruined, and therefore there is no idis to collect from, and therefore we go back to deraisa, we go back to basics, which is ziburis. Now on the topic of ein nefroy minichse Yisayimim ela min haziburis, when one collects from Yisayimim, it's only ziburis. The Gemara will discuss why. Why is it that you're only entitled to the worst great property when collecting from Yisayimim? When we speak about these Yisayimim, you only give ziburis. Ketanim, I feel gedolim. Are they minors or even adults whose father passed away and left behind these debts? Why would it be even gedolim? Look, on the one hand, you could say takanti the Ovid Rabbanon Gabi Yasmi. Rabbanon made a takana to protect the Yisayimims, to help out the Yisayimim in their business dealings, to help them get rid of the worst grade property. So then it only applies to Ketanim. Takanti the Ovid Rabbanon Gabi Yasmi, the Ketanim of Rabbanon, only for the Ketanim who can't get, make their way around, the business world. Look, but for adults who can look after themselves, this takana wouldn't apply. Or you can say that it applies even to G'daylim. You see, remember, Minat Torah, a malva collects ziburis. Why do we up him to baininess? We said before, so that he shouldn't slam the door shut in front of the loiva. Right? He shouldn't be discouraged from lending him. Well, even if we say that a malva can only collect ziburis from Yisayimim, how likely is that? How common is that the loiva will pass away and the malva will revert to the Yisayimim and collect ziburis? So, even if that's true that he can only collect ziburis from Yisayimim, that's not going to deter him from lending money to people on account of that unlikely scenario that he'll be forced to collect ziburis from Yisayimim. So, it's not really a factor at play, and therefore there's no reason why Yisayimim should pay more. So that's the other tzad. The reason why Yisayimim only pays ziburis is because the malva, when he lends the money, he's not thinking on this track. The misleva, that the leiva will pass away, even if and the assets will be in the hands of the Yisayimim, which will compel him to only collect ziburis, and therefore the havali noel delas, and this will precipitate a slamming of the door. It's not going to happen. And since it's not really a factor, so therefore let's apply the halacha to even adult Yisayimim. So which way is it? Is it to protect the interests of the Yisayimim, to help them sell off get rid of their bad property? So it applies to just Ketanim, or is it because the Na'ilas Delis is not a factor concerning Yisayimim? Toshma, we have a right. The Tani Abak Shisha Yisayimim Amru. When we mention Gedolim, Yisayimim Ekdolim, it's even adults, of course, kids. So we see that it's all across the board. So let's go on 1 second. Maybe it's not pertaining to this halacha of collection. Maybe it's pertaining to a different halacha. Dilma, Hanimilin Shvua. There's a halacha that when one collects from Yisayim, he has to swear beforehand that he's owed the money. So perhaps by Shvua we say, it applies to all ages. You know why? The gadol, because even an adult orphan, b'milu davua, pertaining to his father's business dealings, he's totally unaware, uninvolved. He's like a katan, meaning he has no idea what his father did during his lifetime. So you have to swear to the gadol as much as to the katan. Aval in ziburis, when it comes to collecting from them, in terms of quality of collection, is it ziburis? Is it not? Perhaps it's a totally different equation. From a katan, he can only collect ziburis because, as we said, we want to help them get rid of it. But a gadol, he'll take care of himself. So perhaps it's inapplicable to a gadol, but the Gemara says, the conclusion is Yisayimim she'amru gedolim, it's erech l'ktanim. When it comes to Yisayimim, pertaining to all these halachis, it applies to gedolim, it's erech l'ktanim, bein l'shvua, whether it comes to swearing before collection, bein l'ziburis, whether it comes to collecting inferior grade properties, it applies to gedolim and to ktanim as well. Okay, so let's just summarize this Amud Gemara, which discusses collecting from Yisayimim. You collect ziburis, and the question was, does this only apply to schus d'Rabbanan? What about dinim d'oraisa, like a mazik, or like a case where the Baal Chayv actually committed to give idus? What happens then when he passes away? This seems to be machlekes Abaye and Rava. Abaye holds we stick to ziburis, and Rava disagrees. By d'oraisa, he's entitled to collect whatever d'oraisa gives him. We concluded that the point of collecting from ziburis is in order to help the Yisayimim get rid of their ziburis, and therefore applies. No. The conclusion was that it applies to G'dolim and Ktanim. The reason is because the whole reason why we allow the Baal Chayv to collect Beinanis is because Ni'ilas Delas, and that doesn't apply in this case. Okay, let's proceed to the next halacha in the Mishnah. Ein Ephraim nechasim mishabadim b'makom sheish b'nei chayrin. So nechasim mishabadim are the assets that have been sold by the loiva after he took the loan. So basically, those assets have a lien on them. B'nei chayrin are assets which are free and available, still in the loiva's hands. So Mishnah says, although a Baal Chayv is entitled to collect Beinanis, but let's say he has a choice to collect Beinanis Nechasim Meshubad right in the hands of a customer, versus collecting a free and available asset in the hands of the loiva, but it's ziburis. He has to opt for that. He can only collect from Shabbatim if he runs out of Bnei Chayrin availability. Or if there's something available, he has to go for that first, even though it's of lower quality. And the point is, to protect the interests of the buyers. As long as he left something over, he doesn't have to, pay attention to the qualities and the grades. As long as he left something over, you can't go after the buyer. Rather, you must first collect what's available and what's free. So it's the same on the Amr as a minute ago. He asked the Shaila again. What if instead of selling that property, I have given it away as a gift? So the Leiva took a loan of $1 million. He has two properties. One is Beinanis, and one is Ziburis. And he gave away the Beinanis as a gift. Comes collection time. The Baal Chayv would like his Beinanis, but it's in the hands of the recipient of the Matana. Sort of Meshubit. It wasn't sold, it was given away, but it's in the hands of a Makabal Matana. Can he go collect that? Or do we say you have to go for the Bnei Chayrin first? First take the $1 million property in the hands of the Leiva, even though it's Ziburis? That's the question. This takana, that Bnei Chayrin take priority, is it to protect the interests of the customers? Aval matana like a pseid l'kuches leib. When it comes to a recipient of a gift, he didn't invest money on it. So perhaps over there we don't have to be concerned about protecting his interests. And the B'chayv is entitled to go directly to him and collect his beinanis. Or perhaps matana nami. Well, the gift is also in exchange for some favor, for some ilav the isli hanam, if not for the fact that the one giving the gift had some sort of benefit and hanah from the recipient. Well, Yavle Matani wouldn't have just given him a piece of property outright. So really, the other fellow has already invested on it. We treat it like a customer who's losing money on the deal. So which way is it? This halacha applies to Makabal Atana or not. Amale Mark Shisha Breder Rav Chizl Rav Ashi Tashma. Bring a right from a Bryce. We have a Shchibra, a person on his deathbed, Sha'amar. He declares as follows. He gives instructions. Tznu Masayim Zuz Leplani. He has lots of properties. 200 zuz of property give to Reuven. V'givo Meis Leplani. 300 zuz of property give to Shimon. V'dal Meis Leplani. 400 worth give to Levi. We don't say Kol HaKodim V'shtar Zoch. We don't give Reuven priority. Let's say there isn't enough to go around. We don't say, well, Reuven gets first because he was mentioned first. Well, a person, can only say one thing at a time. He meant to give Reuven this much, Shimon this much, Levi this much. He didn't mean that Reuven should take priority over Shimon. So basically, if there isn't enough to go around, we divide it, in proportion. That's number one. The fichach. Number two, let's say Yotza Olav Shtar Chayv. Suppose it turns out that this generous benefactor happened to owe a lot of money. So suddenly a Shtar Chayv is produced after his passing. Gavi Mikulan. This fellow will now go collect from all three recipients, Reuven, Shimon, and Levi, of course in proportion to their gifts. Because they're basically all on equal footing. Aval, but in the following case, there is priority. There's a system. Avalim Amar Tnu Asayim Zuz Leplani. But let's say he said 200 to Reuven. Va'achrav Leplani, and he specifies. After Reuven gets his part, then whatever's left. Va'achrav Leplani. Give so much and so much to Shimon. Va'achrav Leplani. And if there's anything left after that, give so much and so much to Levi. Now he staggered it. Now he prioritized it. Here we do say that Reuven takes priority over Shimon and Shimon over Levi. Whoever's mentioned first gets first. And therefore, likewise, if a Shtar Chayv shows up later on, who does he collect from? He starts with the last one. He starts with Levi, because Reuven says, look, I took my part, and when I collected, I left you over. Shimon says the same, look, when I took, I left some over. So Levi's the loser. Let's say Levi doesn't have enough to pay. and gave him shalafonav. So he goes back to Shimon for the rest. And if there isn't sufficient to satisfy the Baal Chayiv there, gave him a shalafonav. Then he goes back to Reuven. But it's staggered. Now the Gemara is assuming va'afagav the kama beinanis. We're assuming that this applies even if Reuven's piece of land is medium quality, which really is meant for a Baal Chayiv. He doesn't have to give it to the Baal Chayiv because Ubasra Ziburis, he left over the next property, which is the worst quality. So even if Kama is Beinanis, Ubasra Ziburis, where does the Baal Chayiv go to? He goes to the Basra, he goes to Levi, even though it's Ziburis, Miziburis Gavi, Beinanis like Gavi. He's not entitled to go to Beinanis. Because Reuben pushes him away to Shimon, and Shimon pushes away to Levi. Why? This is in line with the Mishnah. You don't collect from a Shabbatim when there is Bnei Chayrin available. And Reuben says, look, when I took my part, even though it was Beinanis, I left you over a free piece of land. Even though it's Ziburis, doesn't matter. So first go to Levi, go to Shimon, and come back to me if you're stuck. If you run out of, if it doesn't suffice to satisfy your debt. Shmamina, this is a clear raya that we're speaking of Matana here, right? The Shchibim was giving away gifts. Matana Nami, over Rabbanut Takanta. We see the same formula, the same Takana applies to Matanas. No, says the Gemara Skinner, we're speaking about no gifts, B'Baal Chayiv. The Shchibim was simply paying up his debts. I owe this much to Reuven, I owe this much to Shimon, this much to Levi. And therefore, here we say that the first Baal Chayiv, Reuven, gets priority over Shimon, and Shimon over Levi. Says the Gemara, 1 second. V'tnu ka'amar. How could you say he's just paying up his debt? He said give. Tnu means like a gift. Tnu b'chayivi. He meant to say, pay back my debt. Asks the Gemara, 1 second. So why are we giving priority to Reuven over Shimon and Shimon over Levi? Because they were first and second on the list. If they're Bali Chayiv, then it works totally differently. It works based on whose shibud came first. Doesn't matter who collected first. Right? We're saying, look, Reuven goes first because he was mentioned first, and all depends if he said it with the word ba'achrav, without ba'achrav. Doesn't matter how he said it and what order and what words he used. Whoever lent this man money first is entitled to collect first, plain and simple. Doesn't matter what happened now, when the Shchibra was actually paying back. If Reuven lent money to the Shchibra first, he gets first priority, because his shibud came before Shimon's shibud. That's how it works. They're like a shtar. We're speaking, there is no shtar. It was a milva al peh. It was, a loan without any documents, or maybe they lost the documents, so we don't have that to dictate the terms. Okay, it says the Gemara, but the Brisa clearly makes reference to a shtar. Whoever is first in the shtar, so it sounds like there is a shtar. But shtar pekalta. We're not speaking about the actual shtar milva. We're speaking about the document which was now, drafted to record the instructions of the shchivra. That's what it means. So bottom line, it has nothing to do with our discussion. We had a shaila whether this halacha that we prioritize, the Baal Chayiv is only allowed to take Bnei Chayrin, is only allowed to take Mishabadim when there's no Bnei Chayrin available, but preferably he takes Bnei Chayrin, whether it applies specifically where the Mishabadim were purchased, or does it even apply when the Mishabadim are being held as a result of a matana? That was the question. We thought we had a raya that we apply this formula by gifts. Teretz says we're not speaking about gifts. We're speaking about a totally different situation where these people are in possession of these properties because of their loans. So therefore he's entitled to say, look, when I collected on my loan and I left something available for you, go there. Says the Gemara, another way to understand the Brisa, Afilu matana nami. You know what? Yeah, this Shchivmana was giving away his assets as matana. But Leikashi, and still will not prove anything to our discussion. My Gavim na Achrin, because when the Brisa says that when the Baal Chayv comes along to collect on his debt, he's going to collect from the last one on the list. He's going to go to Levi first, despite the fact that Levi is in possession of Ziburis. So that perhaps proved to us that even when it's a question of matanais, you go to the Bnei Chayr, even if it's Ziburis. No. It means ein nifsa de la'achrin. It means of course the Baal Chayv will have the full right and full entitlement to go to Reuven, who's holding on to the baininess, because you only got it as a gift. When it comes to a gift, we don't apply this formula of Bnei Chayrin. I can go collect your baininess, even though when you took that gift, there was another property available. I want the baininess. I'm entitled to the baininess. I go straight to you. When the Brisa says that he's given from the Achron, he collects from Levi, we're not speaking about who the Baal Chayv is being given from. Of course, he's going straight to Reuven, who has the baininess, which is the item of his lien, the shibud. It means a nifsa del achra. It means that Reuven ultimately will go back to Shimon, and Shimon will go back to Levi, because amongst themselves, Reuven has priority over Shimon because he preceded Shimon in this gift-giving ceremony, and likewise Shimon has a priority over Levi. So if he snatches Reuven's field, Reuven will take Shimon's and Shimon will take Levi's. So ultimately Levi will lose, but indirectly. Again, we thought it means that the Baal Chayv will go straight to Levi because he was the Bnei Chayr when Reuven took his field. And that would prove to us that even when it comes to matanes, we don't touch the Mushabadim, despite the fact that it's Beinani. No, we don't touch it. We take the Ziburis, which was available when the Baal Matana took the Beinanis. No, the answer is he's going straight to Reuven to take the Beinanis because it's only a Baal Matana. And by Matana, we don't have this halacha that we force you to take the Bnei Chayr. No, go straight to the Beinanis that the Makabel Matana has. When the Brisa says that Levi is the one that loses, because ultimately he's the one that loses, because upon losing his field, Reuven goes to Shimon, and Shimon will go to Levi, because that's the way it was. It was staggered that way. Reuven takes priority over Shimon, and Shimon over Levi. You buy say what a third shot is. You thought we're speaking about different quality lands. The Shavakul Dadi. All these properties are equal in quality. There goes the whole raya. We thought that he took the Bainis, he took the Ziburis. That would prove our point. No. Reuven, Shimon, and Levi all have the same type of land, whether it's all Bainis, all Ziburis. So in this case, even if the Brisa is saying that the Baal Chayv will go to Levi, it has nothing to do with our discussion. It doesn't prove anything regarding Bainis and Ziburis and Baal Chayv and Shibud, because they're all the same thing. So it makes sense that he goes to Levi, the last one who got the gift. Okay, so bottom line, one has no right to take from Mishubadim when there are Bnei Chayrin available. Does it apply to Makabel Matana as well? We're not sure. Mishnah says, when it comes to collecting compensation for peiros, you can only do that from Nechasa B'nei Chayrin, not Mishubadim. Now we're speaking where Reuven stole a field, sold it to Shimon. Shimon farmed it, improved it. He produced a crop, and then suddenly the Nigzal, the one who the field was stolen from, comes and repossesses it from Shimon. Shimon runs back to Reuven. What are you doing? You sold me a field with a warranty. Pay me back. Okay, so the actual sale price, the sale money, you can take from Mishubadim, because remember he has a shtar on the field. Right? The transaction document is with achrayas. It includes a warranty. And that warranty allows him to collect even from Mishubadim. Fields that Reuven sold after he had made the sale to Shimon, because those fields were committed to this warranty. That's in terms of the actual sale price, but in terms of the peiros, the crop, which also was also snatched away from Shimon, although it's included in the achrayas, but that he cannot take from a chasam Mishubadim of Reuven. My time, why? Amar Ula, Amar Shlakish, Vishain Ksuvin, because they're not actually stipulated in the shtar. Basically, when he sold him the field, although he indicated that he's going to back up everything, including the peiros, but the peiros was not yet in existence. Now remember, the whole point of collecting from a Shabbatim is because there is a koil, there's a voice, the news gets out, the word gets out. Everybody's aware. Look, I've just committed myself. I've given a warranty, pretty significant, substantial warranty, to back up this sale. So anybody who comes and looks at my properties has to keep that in mind. That there's a lien, a potential lien sitting on my properties. But up to a point. The pairs are not really stipulated. They don't exist yet. So people are not careful about that. They know, okay, the field cost $1 million. We must leave over that much property in the hands of Ruvain to back up the warranty. But in terms of the pairs that may or may not actually come into existence, people are not aware. They don't go into that. So when it comes to peiros, you have no right to collect from Mishubadim. If that's the reason, Mishnah continues. Now likewise, the commitment of a husband to support his wife after his passing, or his kids after his passing, to command the those are like clearly stipulated in the Ksuba. It's standard fare. Rashi says this. It's not best. Everybody knows that commitment is part and parcel of a marriage. And there as well we say you can't take from a chasam shabbatim of the husband. Why not? He says like this: Hasam bi'karachi itkin. You should know when it comes to those commitments. Initially, that's the way the Chachamim established the chiyuv. Ksuvenin etzel b'nei chayrin is considered written and recorded and absolute in terms of available properties, available assets, unsold properties. Ve'en ksuvenin etzel m'shabbadim. But Chacham do not entitle the isha and the banes to collect from Shabbatim. And Rashi explains otherwise nobody's going to buy anything. Everybody has a wife and kids, and if you're going to allow them to go collect from a Shabbat, nobody's going to do any. You're going to stunt all commerce. Nobody's going to want to buy and sell properties, lest they fall into the shibud of the isha and the banes from the Zaynis. So therefore, Chacham said, it's a limited entitlement. If upon passing away, the husband left behind available assets, gesundheit, but mishabadim no. He gave the same reason as Ula to the halacha and the Mishnah by peiros. The reason why he doesn't collect peiros from Shabbatim, Vishain Ksuvin, Amalei Rav Ezer Rav Asi, so he asked him the same question, Vamazin Vishma Abonis, Maksivid Damu. It's as though it's stipulated in the Ksuva, Uktanein Metzin, and we still say we can't collect from Shabbatim. He gave him the same answer, Amalei Mikarach Itkin, that's the way it was initially established. Ksuvanein Etzel B'nei Chayrin, it's committed regarding B'nei Chayrin, being Ksuvanein Etzel Shabbatim, but the Isha and the Abonis cannot collect from Shabbatim. Rav Chanina Amar, a different reason, Vishain Ksuvin. The reason why you can't collect peiros or Mazin Isha Abonis from a Shabbatim is because it's not defined. You can't put a number on it. Right? Nobody knows exactly how much peiros you're going to have. Nobody knows exactly how much the Isha and the Banis are going to need. So there's no way to be careful from it. And therefore, Chacham don't allow it to be implemented on Chasam Shabbat. Okay, we continue B'ez Hashem tomorrow. Let's just summarize this Amid Gemara. One can only collect from Mishubadim when there are no B'nei Chayrin available. The one wants to know whether, in a case where the Mishubadim are Meshubad as a result of a gift, do we say it doesn't apply because the whole point is to protect the interest of the Lekuches? He's not a Lekuches. Do we say no? Why is he giving you gifts? Apparently you gave him something. Apparently he gave you Hana. So that too qualifies as a transaction and must be protected as well. We tried to bring a raya which was not successful. What about Achilas Peiros and Mazon Isha Abonis? Although they can collect from B'nei Chayrin, but not entitled from Shabbatim. There's no koil. Well, that's the takana meikara, according to Rabbi Chanina, because it's not defined. Yishain Ktubin, and therefore you're limited only to B'nei Chayrin. All the best to you. Hatzlacha Rabbah.